Beard stays on until CAPR's out. Yeah, that's it. I just made a thumbnail for our video. Sorry. CAPR watch is here. So is NVIDIA. I think this whole like little scare is over. Okla's up. Let's see what else is going on here. Mongo's up 26%. Wow. I reported last night, right? A-Lab is also up 9%. App11. Wow, App11. Incredible. Janx down 50%. Oof. Real bad data. And a couple things moving. Even Bitcoin's rallying back to 90K. Let me see if I can do some pre-market, post-market, either way. Yeah, the margin requirements for these binaries, the brokers have gotten smarter. Yeah, Holidays of the Baby was exciting, thank you. I got the cutest baby picture, I'll show you guys later. I did sleep. Sarepta's been weak in momentum for about 6 months, if you haven't noticed. There are a lot of publicly traded drug companies. Shaw's the monopar reverse split. If I looked at Royalty Pharma, of course. I used to talk to those guys on the weekly. ABTC down 46%. Yeah, some people use the market to their advantage. Some people use it to their disadvantage. CAPR coming back down a little bit. So Astra Zeneca is the biggest company in London, or in the London market. I don't know if I could use this little mini guy. It's like, it's good, but it's not as good as I'd like. We're all just waiting on CAPR Core, which is CAPR, or big binary event. They're going to announce their data pretty soon here. All right, let's look at AstraZeneca, traded in London. I'm trying to figure out what the commission on trading here is. Looks like 50 basis points on Interactive. That's kind of brutal. hard to make money with that. 50 basis points both ways. So you need to make 1% to break even. Let me see if that scales. Yeah, it looks like it's 50 basis points no matter what, which is really crazy. Let's see if they do a CFD. Anybody else trade London on Interactive? I think contracts for difference are... Oh, you do it on Fidelity? Do you know what the commission rate is on Fidelity? I can check out Fidelity too. Let me check that out. Where's International on Fidelity? Do I have to do something special? 50 basis points? 50 basis points is crazy. You have to open a separate brokerage account for International, and it's 50 bips. Man. Stamp tax, but that's what CFDs are for, right? Don't apologize for being British. Let's update AstraZeneca and see if we can value it and trade it if we think there's something there. It's the biggest drug company listed in, I want to say all of Europe, but you know, one of the biggest drug companies in the world anyway. You look at it, announced their quarterly earnings about a month ago. Flip through this a little bit. Most important thing to me when I look at a drug stock is just all of the individual drugs revenues. So 𝗕𝗏𝗄, 1864, still growing unbelievably, even though it's kind of an older drug now. Imfinzi, this is their Keytruda Me Too. Quite impressive, 1.6, you know, up to almost 6 billion now. A little over 6 billion now annually, which is, you know, a huge number. Calquence kind of winning the BTK wars, sort of. Lynparza, also strong, surprisingly. And Enhertu, this is weird because they don't book all the Enhertu revenue, but Enhertu is, you know, a bit of a huge success for them on the ADC side. ADC, antibody drug conjugate, for anybody who doesn't play along at home. TrueCap, this is kind of a interesting drug. It wasn't cap after all. It was real. Imjudo, I always hated these types of CTLA drugs for cancer. They don't really work. 𝗓𝗏𝗋, is that one of the new genetic medicines for them? Maybe. 𝗓𝗏𝗋, no, that's 𝗓𝗏𝗡𝗦, that's a TROP2 ADC. So really strong oncology franchise at AstraZeneca. One of the best CEOs also in pharma at AstraZeneca. Okay, 𝗥𝗡𝗅. 𝗥𝗡𝗅 still hasn't gone generic, but it's coming very soon, so it's more or less on its way out. Crestor, the old statin, is still around. Brilinta, this is a blood thinner, old blood thinner, but Brilinta's doing all right. No, Brilinta went generic in the US, so down a lot. Yeah, older drug. Makes sense. 𝗍𝗔𝗬, this is a little engine that could, now up to 2 billion. Little IL-5 mab, is that right? Yeah, for asthma. I want to say it's sub-Q because I've tried it, I think. Let me keep going down this list. 𝗤𝗏𝗪, this is like a very kind of bizarre drug, but it's done well. And they got it through an acquisition, if I'm not mistaken. Was this where'd they get this thing from? Where'd 𝗤𝗏𝗪 come from? This is an old acquisition, right? Yeah, ZS. I don't remember that ZS acquisition too well, but 2015 was a pretty busy year for me. I think we were surprised by it. It was sort of a pretty rich price, but it looks like, turns out it was a good deal. Seloken is an old anti-hypertensive. Roxadustat is a very storied drug. It's the old Fibrogen drug. 𝗬𝗏𝗚. This is a genetic medicine drug. What's this thing for again? This is this is for ATTR peripheral neuropathy. This is, I don't know why this drug's gonna, I mean, it's growing. I don't know what they're using it for, but Astra Zeneca we used to call it 𝗨𝗪𝗔𝗍𝒂, but now with Pascal, we call it 𝗨𝗪𝗔𝗍𝒂. Cool, right? All right, Symbicort, old inhaler. See, these inhalers never go generic because you have to do this like pretty complicated bioequivalence. So Symbicort selling, 3 billion a year. It's the oldest, costs like 10 cents to make, but you can't make it the generic because the spray, there's no bioequivalence test to do. You have to do a spray test. And the FDA is just like, yeah, do a full clinical trial. And the generic companies are like, huh? What's that? What? I've never done one of those. Just some Chinese guy like, huh? In some dirt floor factory in India or something. You expect us to do what? Nah, we don't do that over here. 𝗪𝗔𝗬 is just another like attempt to do these combinations, kind of like the GSK portfolio. It's budesonide, formoterol, and glycopyrrolate. These are really old, kind of historic drugs in some ways, but like every year somebody just makes a new combination. Brands it as a new asthma drug and everything's fine. 𝗕spire a little more, optimistic and innovative. 𝗕spire's, a deal with Amgen, I believe. So that's sort of like, not going too quickly, but Pulmicort, I think Pulmicort actually did go generic. Some of these sprays are easier to make generics than others. It's sort of a dark art. Nobody really knows how it actually works. 𝗪𝗓𝗏, again, one of these kind of like, it's just a weird cottage industry of like, yeah, this one's albuterol and budesonide. So albuterol, the LABA, budesonide, the steroid. And, you just keep mixing and matching all these and call them new drugs and you could do all right. Doctor, gets a visit. Cute sales rep explains why they should try this new drug. Doctor's like, I love you. The sales rep is like, ha ha ha, that's nice. Anyway, how many patients do you think you could put on this drug, man? Oh, all of them. I love you so much. Okay, thanks, Dr. Smith. Gotta go. See you next month. That's basically what that looks like. Beyfortus is the new RSV mab for little babies, actually. I think, I want to say Little Torque got one. You get them a little shot to protect against RSV because mom's antibodies are no longer there and they can't make antibodies themselves. So there's a little period where you want to give them RSV shot, and it's especially important for premature babies, I believe, but it's been a while since I looked at this. Anyways, let's see. What else are we looking at here? 𝗕spire, Pulmicort, Saffelno, Supra, Beyfortus, Synagis. Synagis was the old version. It was funny, this was one of the main drugs in biotech. Synagis was one of the first. If you don't know Synagis, it's an old school. MedImmune was the maker of Synagis. Let's see, Flumist. Flumist was also old school biotech. This is a nasal flu vaccine. And it was sort of a dud, but AstraZeneca still makes it. I added the old Alexion drugs too, one of my old favorite biotechs. now long since been purchased by Astra. They've done a switch from 𝗠𝗵𝗏 to 𝗠𝗵𝗏 from Soliris. Probably some biosimilars have nibbled at Soliris as well. 𝗕𝗄𝗎 224. Nobody thought this drug would ever be anything. Is this the old? No. Okay, this isn't the one I was thinking of. 𝗕𝗄𝗎 is 𝗪𝗔𝗍𝗪. I was thinking of the old drug from, who's that rare disease company that 𝗪𝗪𝗏 reverse merged into an AstraZeneca, not as AstraZeneca, Alexion bought, 𝗪𝗔𝗬𝗑. Does anybody remember 𝗪𝗔𝗬𝗑? That was a crazy story. Baker Brothers were in 𝗪𝗪𝗏. The reverse merger created 𝗪𝗔𝗬𝗑. 𝗪𝗪𝗏 was sort of dead. I actually wanted to buy 𝗪𝗪𝗏's drug. It's this crazy HIV drug called Fusion. You don't know the Fusion story. That was pretty wild as well. 𝗪𝗪𝗏 reverse merged. 𝗪𝗔𝗬𝗑 took over. 𝗪𝗔𝗬𝗑, I think, was called 𝗪𝗔𝗬 and is 𝗪𝗔𝗬𝗑 backwards. So 𝗪𝗔𝗬𝗑, AVEG, AVEG, SYN, NYS. Am I doing this right? 𝗪𝗔𝗬𝗑, AVEGANYS, 𝗪𝗪𝗏𝗪. Maybe I get it wrong. Jiva name origin. I thought it was the bad. I thought they. Let's see. 𝗪𝗔𝗬𝗑 name. Well, let me try this. 𝗪𝗔𝗬𝗑 𝗪𝗪𝗏 merger. 𝗪𝗔𝗬𝗑 original name. Avigenics. Okay, it's close. Sort of backwards. Avigenics. So it went from Avigenics to 𝗪𝗔𝗬𝗑, merging with 𝗪𝗪𝗏, but growing up to 8 billion and selling to Alexion for 8.4 billion, which was crazy. And the drug 𝗠𝗏𝗏 that they got never did very well. So 𝗠𝗏𝗏, maybe, let's see here. 𝗠𝗏𝗏 got to, I think they stopped reporting 𝗠𝗏𝗏 revenue, but it looks like it was about 200 million. So they paid 8 billion for 200 mil. Rough stuff, right? How many years did that take? 40 years to get your money back? If it was pure profit, which it's of course not. Bad deal. Who did that deal? Oh yeah, I know who. Shkreli knows. Don't worry. I'm not going to name names. But you wasted $8 billion, homie. That's a bad trade. Some of you got upset over losing 50 grand. Imagine paying $8 billion for 200 in revenue. That's what, a $6 billion plus loss? Not including, time value of money. You don't have to be an expert analyst to see that problem. That was pretty obvious. All right, let's look at this. As usual, my numbers don't add up. I'm missing 64 million somewhere. I found it. Other rare disease. There it is. 64. Oh, that's literally where they stopped reporting it here in this line, and now it goes into this line. It's probably the only drug in this line anymore. And Dexa was the other drug Alexion got for Portola, if you remember that deal. So I love deal making. I'm like Trump. I love deals. I love them. I do lots of deals. We're going to make a deal. It's going to be a great deal. The only loser is going to be China. So basically, the drug, as many of you guys have seen me stream many times, the basic point of the drug industry, or like looking at drugs, is you just basically go through each drug one by one. And a company like AstraZeneca, let's count how many drugs it is. It looks like there's maybe 30 lines that make up the company, and probably 10 of them really matter. So you just have to forecast 36 different revenue lines, and basically that's it. The costs of most drug companies are more or less the same. There isn't a whole lot changing on that side. So you just have to have this like big memory for every drug. My memory used to be better, but I'm not really in the drug business anymore. So 𝗪𝗪𝗪𝗪. What is this? Is this a next gen? Ooh, I like this. That's a dual binding. Oh, you going to dual, John? Go to the dual one? Double acting? Okay, and it binds albumin. Okay. So that's albumin. Extreme half-life. This is for PNH, or what is this for? Oh, myasthenia gravis. What was the code name for this thing. This kind of snuck up on me. Oh, I kind of remember they had this. Alexion 1720. All right, well, that's a new one. It's going to be pretty good for life cycle management for them. This could be a big one. 𝗕𝗎𝗓𝗓. Now, obviously, they have a C5 franchise. They have the C5 franchise with Solaris, right? Which has basically been deprecated. It's an old patent, off patent. And then Ultomiris, which is, you know, 5 billion. But I guess Ultomiris is not brand new. It's getting old. Well, it's not old. 5 years old. Well, they bought Alexion, so when did Ultomiris get approval? Should have that here. 2018. All right, so Ultomiris is 7 years old. Probably want to start life cycle management. That's fair. And Ultomiris, I think, has a label for MG. So the question is, why would you take this drug? And maybe it's because of administration. Let's see here. So you want sub-Q. Okay, so they have a big label here. PNH, myasthenia gravis, aHUS, and neuromyelitis. Optica spectrum disorder, NMOSD, or sometimes just called NMO. I think there's actually a royalty on this that goes to somebody, one of these small public companies that has a royalty saying, let's look at the patent or the patient information at least. Let's see. Well, no, like medication guide, actually. I almost never look at these, but I don't think they have any. There's a REMS program. I guess the meningococcus is the big problem there, and I don't know how they avoid that with the new drug. You still need this, like, yeah, so you can die from meningococcus because, you know, implementing your complement system, inhibiting your complement system, which is the third part of the immune system. So if you guys don't know, you have the, you guys know? There were sort of two parts. I'll give you a hint. Immune was working on one of them. So it's the innate immune system. Let's see if you guys know this stuff. See how smart my audience is. You got the innate. Anybody else? You got the, yeah, the IFRX is in this space too. Adaptive, innate, and complement. That's probably a good way to look at it. Oh, I'm just banning anybody that has the wrong answer. Sorry. Sucks for you. I love banning people. You should ask ChatGPT. Is there AI mode? Here it is, AI mode. What are the types of immune systems? Give single words. What are the types? What are the components of the immune system? Give single words. No, I want 2 or 3 words max. No, I want your response to be 2 or 3 words. Stop giving me more than 2 or 3 words. Organ cells, molecules. Those are the divisions of the human immune system. Try again. Adaptive, innate, and adaptive. Is the complement system an innate immunity or adaptive? Give one sentence only. The complement system is involved in both innate and adaptive immunity, effectively acting as a functional bridge between the two. Did you guys know this? You got Robinhood, you gotta leave. This isn't the place for Robinhood. You gotta go get a real broker. Get out of here. You're in the wrong place, kid. You're lost. Sad and ashamed. Feel ashamed. Schwab is not really there now. You got your own broker dealer, tier 728. So I don't think you can give Ultomiris IV or sub-Q. Oh, they did have one at one point. Yeah, I think it's intravenous only. Looks like somebody's doing it sub-Q. Where's the old drugs at FDA? There it is. Yeah, it doesn't look like they ever got. Yeah, I don't think they ever got sub-Q in the US at least. So this will be pretty exciting new drug. 𝗪𝗓𝗪𝗓, 𝗪𝗓𝗪𝗓, these names, man. Okay, so I'm going to put something in the model here. I don't know how much Ultomiris right now is for, I don't know how much of it is MG. NMG is somewhat competitive. I think somebody was saying this in the chat earlier, right? Who was talking about that earlier? One of you guys, pretty smart. Very crowded space. Right, Beyfortus is split with Sanofi. Yeah, there's a system to making up the drug names. Yeah, MicroStrategy was never going to be bullish for Bitcoin. Just accelerate the up and accelerate the down. All right, so I'll pencil in some revenue. I think they can find a way to split the baby here and get some revenue out of GMG. Pencil in a little 500 mil. That won't hurt anybody. And I have to add a sheet here for 𝗪𝗪𝗪𝗪. Yeah, the generic names have a system. The brand names are just, there's one company that does it all for the brand names. It's kind of funny. And they're really simple. They all kind of sound the same. Sometimes you get a unique name, but in general, they all kind of sound the same.